Wow, stories.
Am I the idiot for dumping my boyfriend after he neglected me? During my cancer treatment and plan to sell my house, I, 51-year-old female, have been dating my boyfriend, 52-year-old male, for 7 years. We're both divorced. I have kids, mostly grown. We live in a house that I own. We have no shared property and he would never consider marriage. He is very private, independent, and quirky. I have no access to his finances. He gives me money for bills. We get along well, don't fight, and have enough in common to enjoy time together. He has never been romantic and doesn't like giving gifts or celebrating much. We both have decent jobs. We had a healthy intimacy life. I was diagnosed with late-stage ovarian cancer in January. It had spread to multiple organs. I asked him if he wanted to walk away before I told my friends and family I had cancer. He chose to stay and said he would never leave me. I had some initial surgeries, and it was made clear that he isn't a good caregiver. He couldn't check on me, manage medications, bring food and water. When I started chemo, I arranged for other people to take me and set up a meal train to feed us. He did drive me to a number of appointments when I strictly needed a ride. I've lost all my hair. I'm tired, slow, and sick often. I had my birthday in April, and my boyfriend did not give me a card or gift or do anything for me. His birthday is 3 days before mine, and even though I'm sick, I ordered him a gift from Amazon, bought dinner takeout, and made him a cake. Ever since he blew off my birthday, I have lost all my investment in the relationship. Chemo has been successful. We've known all along that if chemo worked, I would have a major operation in mid-May. I got scheduled for an open hysterectomy and cancer debulking surgery on May 13th. It has a 4-week recovery time. As my surgery was approaching, he scheduled himself for a knee procedure 2 days after my surgery. I expressed to him that this was bad timing, and he said he didn't have a choice. He said his knee pain had suddenly grown unbearable. His knee has bothered him for the entire 7 years that we have dated, and he decided that being on crutches after my surgery wasn't a conflict in his eyes. He took the week before my surgery off work and went camping and hiking. He did not take time off work to spend with me when I was recovering from surgery. He worked while I was hospitalized in another city. Then he had his knee procedure. I came home to him on crutches from an elective surgery, unable to care for himself, let alone me. My family and friends have been here caring for me. He asked me to do things for him when I can barely care for myself. His aunt called me to wish me well before my surgery and express her concern that he shouldn't have an elective procedure at the same time. She said that she believes he is having PTSD because his mom died of brain cancer when he was a teenager after many years of failed surgeries and treatments. His aunt raised him after his mom died, and she said this behavior is out of character for him, and she is so surprised by it. I've lost my warm feelings for him. I think we should go our separate ways or just be friends, but I feel guilty. I'm being very detached from him now, and I don't like my own negativity. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. I'm a lifelong singleton in my mid-40s. People are always telling me that I'll have regrets about not having a partner when I'm medically frail and in need of someone to take care of me. Hearing your story is making me wonder, which is worse? Being alone and having to take care of yourself during one of the most challenging moments of your life? Or living with someone who is indifferent to you while taking care of yourself during one of the most challenging moments of your life? I gotta think it's the second. At least in the first scenario, you're not doing extra work. Comment 2. When you asked if he wanted to leave, he said, "I'd never leave you." And yet he's emotionally left you a long time ago. Don't feel bad. He hasn't really done much of anything to support you or be your husband. He's lived in your house as a roommate, a shitty roommate. Even my friend who lived with me would have done more for me in your situation than this man has. Get better and get out of there. Health isn't forever. This might very well happen again. It would be easier to deal with without the stress of realizing your husband doesn't give a shoot about you. Now, for the update. Thanks for the support on my last update. So, here's what's been going on. After I got back from the hospital, things just kept spiraling. My boyfriend, still hobbling around on crutches, had the nerve to ask me to fetch him things. I mean, I'm barely standing myself, and he's acting like I'm the caregiver. It's like he's completely oblivious to my situation. I've been leaning on my family and friends who've been absolute angels, but it's exhausting pretending everything's okay when it's not. Then, out of the blue, his ex-wife shows up. Apparently, she heard about my surgery and wanted to offer support. But the way she hovered around him, you'd think she was there for him, not me. It was like I was invisible in my own house. She'd bring him his favorite foods, fluff his pillows, and they'd chat and laugh like old times. It made my blood boil, but I didn't say a word. I just watched them, feeling like a stranger in my own life. One day, I overheard a conversation that made my heart sink. My boyfriend, thinking I was asleep, told his ex that he felt trapped because of my illness, that he wanted to be there for me but didn't sign up for this. It was like a punch to the gut. I wanted to confront him, but what was the point? I was too weak and, frankly, too heartbroken. As if that wasn't enough, my oldest kid came to me with some shocking news. They'd been doing some digging, suspecting my boyfriend wasn't being honest about his finances. Turns out, he's been hiding a pretty hefty sum of money. Money that could have easily covered a caregiver for me, or at least made things a bit easier. But no, he kept it a secret, while I scrimped and saved and worried about every penny. I felt like a fool, taken for a ride by someone I trusted, but I didn't have the energy to fight it. I just wanted to focus on getting better, on surviving. So I kept quiet, swallowed my pride, and let it slide. Then, as if things couldn't get any worse, his knee miraculously got better. Just like that, he was off crutches, moving around like nothing happened. He even had the gall to suggest a trip to celebrate my recovery, as if I could just forget everything and play happy couple. But the last straw came when I found out he'd been talking to a real estate agent about selling my house. My house. He said it was too much for me to handle, that we should downsize. But it was clear he just wanted a cut of the sale, a way to cash in on my hard work. I couldn't take it anymore. I told him it was over, that I wanted him out of my house and my life. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, but also the most freeing. My friends and family rallied around me, supporting my decision and helping me through the aftermath. He left without much fuss, which was a relief. I guess he knew he'd been caught out. And now, I'm slowly rebuilding my life, my health, and my trust in people. It's not easy, but I'm getting there, one day at a time.